Hello, people of the internet. Alan here, and welcome back to Stellaris and the new Roman Empire with our Emperor, Appy. And of course, his new heir, Numerus Ullius. I think I actually got that kind of right. Anyways, of course, we used to have a old heir, uh, Abby, I think was her name, or was it? No, Vivi. Sorry, Vivi was her name. Unfortunately, she died, and our boy Emperor Appy here firmly believes that she was murdered. Unfortunately, that developed Paranoid Tyrant, which gives us stability and lowers crime, but messes up our unity gained from jobs and lowers happiness, which is not fun. I'm starting to see why I haven't never played with this origin before. I really don't like sudden changes to my leadership that causes, well, massive changes. It's why I usually like playing as a hive mind, because I usually don't have to worry about the annoying changes to leadership that, normal independent organics have, or normal independents anything have. But we roll with what we got. Another thing that happened last episode is we are now in a federation, the Galactic Defense Initiative. It's only us and our normal buddies, the Independent Rotund Nation. And our federation is slowly gaining traction. You see that it's now gaining XP. Thanks to us having an official here, we are gaining cohesion, which is slowly building up this blue bar, which gains us XP, which of course advances us to the next level. Each level has its own unique tiers of benefits. Right now, just being in the Alliance, ships get starting XP, get additional starting XP, armies get additional starting XP, and we build ships faster. Now, what is XP for ships? That is basically each of these ships can become a veteran. As you can see there in the little box there's a whole bunch of flippin' words. Rank veteran. That basically makes this specific ship stronger. If we go all the way down here to the very, very bottom, we should see, yes, experienced. There should be a new, well, hang on. Let me just go over to these ones, because these guys, oh, hey. I'm pretty sure that it usually starts off at, new or rookie or inexperienced or something similar to that. Inexperienced is, of course, the next step up, and veteran is I don't know if that's the last stage or the second to last stage. But whatever it is, having more experience just from the get-go is a very, very, very good thing. You want your ships to have more veterancy because, well, they'll be able to hit harder and move faster. When they're in a fight, that might actually make the difference between whether or not you're about to kick your enemy's butt or not. And we just had one of our archaeological sites advance their progress. It is target from orbit. Ah, yes. This is that giant structure down on the surface of a planet. Basically, Emperor's Palace from Warhammer 40k type deal. Once past the collapsed entrance, a tunnel bores deep into the earth. Architecturally flawless despite its age, kilometers down it opens into a massive, perfectly spherical chamber. Floating in a suspension field at the very center is an inscrutable alien device, a semi-opaque, amber-tinted cube with intricate alien patterns inscribed on all 6 sides. Touching these inscriptions causes rhythmic pulses of light to be emanated from the cube. There is no trace of any known language, code, or mathematical equation in the chamber or on the puzzle box itself, but it is fairly safe to assume that the box is a riddle of some kind. Keep digging. Yes, I was right. That was the giant structure on the surface of the planet. Another thing that's happened that's not really relevant to us personally, kind of, is that our other ally, good friend here, the UPS, is currently fighting the GAR, Great Archeo Regime. So, fun. Alright, so we just finished our uplift thing. And yes. So now we are ready to uplift any pre-sapient species that happen to be in our territory. Mostly so we don't have to worry about them screwing with our stuff because they're dumb animals. Alrighty, and what else are we going to do? Ah, yes, yes, I do believe we are going to go and do the universal microphage because I would very much like the organic leader lifespan increase. And it would appear. Oh, hey, this is neat. So, as I might have told you way back when, pops can have variants to their species. This one right here has 2 variants: the normal kind, and then a psionic kind. This is the path that we're going to be going down. We're going to be turning ourselves into psionics. Apparently, somebody else has already done that, so good for them. Crazy, but good for them. As you can see, you do get a bit of bonuses from being a psionic. In my personal opinion, if it still works like I remember the last time I messed about with the ascension perks, I think the best one in my personal opinion are the cyborgs. But that's just me personally how I like to play the game. These guys are having a crazy old time. They are modifying their species like crazy. They are cybernetic. Perfect. Habitability plus 20%, army damage plus 10%, leader lifespan plus 40%. That is insane as far as I'm concerned. I mean, just the habitability alone is great. But they apparently have another augment of the commune. Oh, I don't know where this has come from, but job efficiency for workers, not bad. Job efficiency for bureaucrat jobs, also not bad. Like, dang, that's actually pretty good. Workers is basically like the people who make the raw resources, like the energy crystals, the minerals, and the food. Those are the workers. And having 20% more resources from them, that's not bad at all. I can see these guys, there's a lot of variants you can go for. Robots here are some of the most that are usually modified heavily. Because, well, robots are just robots. All of them are basically tossed down the same dang road on that front. But yeah, this is actually pretty neat. But that being said, we don't have any pre-sapiens, so we don't need to worry about that. Even though it says that there are species with unspent trait points, those are the two of the species that we don't have in our empire. Even though it says that we do, we don't, obviously. And everybody's just making rivalries and alliances. Oh, and I probably didn't mention this, but we have, as far as I'm concerned, reached the midpoint of the game. You are in the midpoint of the game. I'm pretty sure we're in the midpoint of the game as far as I can tell. We're probably early mid game, but we're still mid game. Another Merchants Guild.
Construction complete.
Ooh. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Yep. So the devouring swarm is devouring this other hive mind. Unfortunately, it does kind of suck, but it does look like the devouring swarm is doing a decent job of winning. So they will be an annoyance to us later, probably. Alrighty. Loyalist rally. Our loyal supporters made a rally back to back up Emperor Appy. We clearly have the support of the people in our fight. Ah, neato. So it recedes by 2, and we get happiness modifier. I was actually thinking that there weren't any good modifiers, any good events to this. Dang reformist demands. Okay, anyways, message in the bottle. The basically actual ship, like old timey ship, just spaceship, old timey ship. Immediately after we completed the restoration and reactivation of the data files, a thrumming music cadence surged throughout the ship, accompanied by auto-tuned voices of ancient mariners. Transcription follows. Come all you young seafarers, listen to me. I'll sing you a song of our fish from the sea. It's windy weather, boys, stormy weather, boys. When the wind blows, then we're all together, boys. Blow ye winds, fringeward hey, blow ye winds, blow. Out to the galaxy, steady she goes. Up come the solar winds, taking us far, all through the sea lanes and out to the stars. It's windy weather, boys, stormy weather, boys. When the wind blows, then we're all together, boys. Blow ye winds, fringeward hey, blow ye winds, blow. Out to the galaxy, steady she goes. Huh. And no, I'm not going to try to sing that. I don't have a good singing voice. But hey, you guys are more than welcome to go and do that if you want. Yeah, basically we found what amounts to a treasure, a pirate ship. Just a space pirate ship. Alright, so we finished getting the ability to actually start mining the rare crystals, which is going to be useful for us later. Now, what do we want to do here? Honestly, none of these are really that important as far as I'm concerned. I think I'm gonna go with that. I don't really need it, but I'll go with it. Oh, UPS and the Alright, the UPS and the GAR have finished their war, and the UPS definitely won. UPS definitely won. They took that system, that system, that system, that system, and that system, and then they made a vassal out of this system, this system, this system, this system, and this system. And that is adorable. And it doesn't look like they have any governing ethics, which sometimes happens with AI-made puppets. I'm going to invite them into the Federation because why not? Okay, the Curator Order and the Artist Troops. And another group of those guys. Okay, so let me start with the Curator Order because those guys are the ones that I like the most. The Curator Order are great. They are basically just researchers. They sit in their base, in their little base of operations, and they just keep information of everything. They know about the Elgates. They know about the Biggins. They know about the Biggins. And these are the Biggins, by the way. These are all of the big ones that I want to say that we as a species, or as an empire, knows about. But I could be wrong. Could be that these are all of the Leviathans that are currently in the world. And, yeah. You can basically ask, what is whatever the heck you're asking about, really, and they'll tell you a little bit more lore detail about it. You can ask them how to defeat it and give them a bit of energy crystals, and they'll give you a flat bonus to it and increase their opinion of you. How would our current fleet fare against it in battle? You can basically ask how good would you guys, how good would we actually fare? Well, it like it said in 10. They'll tell you whether or not you could actually fight it or not right now. And then just go back to the previous options and then go back, just close the thing out. Yeah, see, how would we fare against the alien asteroid hivers? We would just be just destroyed. You can also get, like I said, Elgate insights from them, or you can have them aid your research. Basically, yeah, these guys are just in case you want some additional science help. As for the artisan troop, these guys these guys are fine if you want more influence. Yeah, monthly unity, I mean, sorry. Monthly unity. So for us, that wouldn't be a bad idea to get the artisan troop to become an artisan troop patron. The only problem is it obviously costs money, and we're currently not exactly doing great on our front. Alright, the Grand Herald. Basically that abandoned civilization that used to be really, really religious. Shifting through the abundance of documents found in the ruins across the planet, this species sure loved their written word. One recurring concept stands out. It's referred to as the Testament of Omen. It is some portent of impending doom that trigger paranoia and dread in the general population. Due to the metaphorical and esoteric nature of the scriptural language, it's difficult to ascertain the true nature of this menace, but the effect on the psyche of the indigenous species is indisputable. En masse, they seem to have looked to heavens for divine intervention. Sure hope they didn't decide they were gonna just go and drink the Kool-Aid. Oh, and one of our archaeological sites finished. And it's not going to pop up? Okay, then I'll just click on that thing. Tanuki Grave Mound. It's hard to determine if... Oh, hey, it's the Tanuki Grave. Okay. It's hard to determine if Auric Bull is even a planet. Preliminary drilling has only revealed strata upon strata of biological tissue. According to estimates, it would take 2,435,463 Tanuki bodies to produce a planetary mass of this size, with a margin of error equal to 5.3%. Even assuming the existence of a rocky core upon which the corpses are layered, the number of specimens involved is still significant. Did someone or something bring the Tanuki here to die, or are they naturally drawn to this place as their final hour draws near? Keep digging. The unusual liveliness of the dead Tanuki covering the surface of Orville seems to be a byproduct of their regenerative capabilities. Even if technically dead, the bodies are still reassembling themselves. This system is unusually rich in nourishing substances typically found in the gas giants where Tanukis graze. Perhaps that explains why this behavior hasn't been observed before. This discovery does not explain why the dead seem to move as if controlled by a single mind, extending their tentacles to encroach upon the new carcasses falling upon the planet. Further excavations will hopefully reveal new insights in the inner workings of this place, or being. Our scientists are still divided on the exact nomenclature. Our excavations unearth a complex network of tunnels extending under the surface of Urkvul. Chemical analysis confirms that the walls are entirely composed of highly compressed Tanuki tissue. The flesh still warm and hardly decomposed despite rivaling the age of our empire. It's as if the corpses were fused together, reshaped, and molded to form this place. But why? After mapping the extensive underground network of Orkavul, our scientists realized the tunnels closely match the structure of the Tanuki vascular system, but on a planetary scale. The pulsating walls emanate a soft warmth, the temperature slowly increasing as the expedition approaches the planet core, where our sensors have picked up a faint life signal. In a vast underground chamber, a Tanuki stands upright. Bell swaying lightly, its wiry tentacles spreading on the floor to connect to the outer walls of the chamber. It appears to be some sort of control unit, controlling and directing the growth of the grave mound. But the creature is now dead, destroyed by the mining equipment we used to get access to the same place. Shell around the core are pallid and brittle. Soon the whole place will die a second death. Unfortunate. Aw, that's unfortunate. Okay. What our scientists mistook for asteroids have been revealed to be frozen, battered Tanuki corpses reduced to shapeless lumps after decades in orbit. The entire asteroid ring is, in fact, just an open burial ground. Some of the bodies we acquired are recently deceased, while others predate our empire by thousands of years. Fascinating, and adds a bit of societal research. Okay. Unusual tectonics. What the Polis Civilius found on Jeffers 4 were not buildings, but surprisingly regular mineral outcroppings. Science officer Mania Turbius asserts that these angular blocks of rock are the product of interactions between tectonic plates. Their shapes the result of unusual tectonic physics inherent in the planet's crust. The perfect angularity of these thrust faults implies a possibility of alien tampering with the crust at some point in the past. Most intriguing. Hmm. One of the alleged reformist cells joined forces with a local group of pirates. Although they're not a serious threat, they can still disrupt our operations and trade in the sector. And it advances by one. And they decided to be a complete idiot and attack the station that had... hang on. Tasty bait. Construction of the Tanuki lure in that system has been completed. Beguiled by the nourishing gases released by the diffuser, the gravekeepers are lured away from their posts, allowing our scientists to slip through their tentacles and approach the burial ground unnoticed. Interesting. So, I'm just going to send you to go and knock them out. I'm absolutely sure that the station could very easily handle it all on its own, but I don't even want to risk it. Alrighty. Event chain. Message in a bottle. As we explored the ship, further attempts to power it up and recover its data files unlocked more stanza of the ancient space shanty. The ship's holographic displays vibrantly project images of sailors and seafarers singing and dancing in accompaniment. Up comes the great dragon in search of our home, through space to a place that's beneath waves and foam. And it's windy weather, boys, stormy weather, boys. When the wind blows, then we're all together, boys. Blow ye winds fringeward, hey, blow ye winds blow. Out to the galaxy stage she goes. Up comes the Tanuki, the king of deep space, racing our ships in a hyperspace chase. Course repeats. Up comes the Leviathan, tentacles grasp, choking our ship as we shiver and gasp. Interesting. So they met a space dragon. Yeah. Pirate ships are getting their butts kicked. And you bet your butt I'm gonna go and get this. Alright, a starbase has destroyed a pirate station in the Danube system and recovered its strong room module. Basically, anytime you destroy a pirate station, you get that. Don't get me wrong, it's not a good idea to have pirates around, but I don't care about giving them back. So, wreckage identified. Our crew aboard this science vessel reported that this system shipwreck appears to have been the result of an unexpected geomagnetic solar storm. The supply ship suffered a complete loss of life support systems and sustained inoperable damage, drifting in until it entered this system, gravity well. There's no survivors. The ship's cargo hold does contain a notable amount of minerals, and I'm just going to keep them because I'm not worried about pissing them off. They're already going to be pissed off at us. Or I guess I should say they are already pissed at us. Not they're going to be. They already are. Nothing to be said about that. Yeah. Hi, Devouring Swarm. We'll kill you later. Geothermal. Measured pounding observed from orbit is the motion of immense and ancient geothermic thermal extractors breathing their last. Built and then abandoned at some point in the distant past, the vast batteries of disintegrating machinery have been pumping up superheated fluids from the planet's core ever since. Their store capacity, their storage capacitors are all broken and leaking, but some energy can still be siphoned from them. Oh, neato! We were needing the energy crystals. Okay, so if nothing changes, we should be good. Still don't like that, though. Cutting it that close, I really don't like that. Nanite crystal lattices. Detailed analysis of the enormous metallic crystals dominating that planet landscape have defied all expectations. Science officer Mania Tibia is excited to reveal that these oversized crystals are in fact composed of trillions upon trillions of deactivated nanites. Their molecular structure matches no known empire's nanotechnology signatures, making their point of origin indeterminable. They may have been deposited on the planet by some unknown spacefarers for an unknown purpose. As far as Mania Tibia can tell, the nanites compiled themselves into perfectly ornated crystalline lattices and replicated until a point at which they became deactivated. While the crystals they created do in fact resemble buildings, they are entirely uniform in composition, and cannot possibly have served any such purpose. Disconcerting. So, that gave us an L-Gate insight and a whole bunch of other research. Which is good, but also bad. So they finally figured out. Humans, it has come to our attention that a missing Hythean supply ship sustained thermal damage en route to Hythea and drifted into NHRE space, where it was promptly and unceremoniously pilfered of its cargo. Do you really believe that this transgression would go unnoticed? The HUS requests the immediate reimbursement of our supplies. Supply ship? What supply ship? And we pissed them off even more. Which is hard to do nowadays. Oh, no, not really, actually. What do you know? What do you know? So yeah, that's one of the things that can happen when you're a xenophile. Your original species can just be swapped over. Well, not swapped over, but your leadership can become somebody else's. Oh, you are kidding me. Ah. Pappy, dude, seriously, stop trying to cleanse planets. Yes, I get it. You're pissed that your daughter is dead. Please, just stop. Just stop. For feck's sake. You're really starting to affect all of us. Grand Herald. Okay, architectural analysis has isolated the buildings that were assembled just before the civilization vanished. The pattern is the same across the planet. Haphazard utilitarian constructs intended for heavy industrial work. Unlike older dwellings, These buildings are unadorned and noticeably pragmatic in their design, perhaps a culture of iconoclasts took hold. Over the entrance of each of these buildings is the Creed of Servitude, a prayer of service to the Grand Herald and its holy plan. The theory is that this is some kind of response to the doom foretold in the Testament of Omen. And another. Laser grid triggered. During the excavations of the archaeological site, an ancient but still functional laser grid was inadvertently triggered. Lasers are blocking the only path forward. Disabling them would be expensive, but finding an alternative route around the laser grid would take a lot of time. No. Only just 100? Yeah, we can spare 100 energy crystals. Message in a bottle. Our archaeologists have unearthed a stash of potent potables. Were the sailors consuming these foul fluids? We will not ingest these strange liquids. Our exploration of the ship is already sufficiently intoxicating. Up come the liquids, all hewn from their shell. These boulders are bolder when they are not alone. Up come the necroids, all fearsome and great. You can't kill them, mateys, they'll reanimate. Up come the swarm of robots, get ready to run. Fight 1, 10, a dozen, 1101. So basically, these guys are just space pirates running around documenting a whole bunch of the different races around the galaxy. Yeah, they're basically space pirates running around documenting all the different freaking species. Big shocker there. Howdy. Howdy. You've been implicated in a plot against the great Akio regime. So vague is the allegation that we cannot definitively state whether or not they are onto something. Our own spies protest the allegations are baseless, claiming that this is likely either a defensive or counter-espionage response from one of our targets, or else a smear campaign being conducted by some third party. Whatever the reason, war or cause, the great Akio regime have taken offense. Okay, doesn't matter to me none. If you guys want to, yep, 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 I don't care.
Construction completed.
And of course, we're still dealing with crime. Alright. As the Polaris Silius passed through the asteroid belt on its way to, I assume, an asteroid of importance, Science Officer Mania Tibia reported that the ship experienced a sudden number of gravitational shifts. Ever curious, Mania Tibia dispatched a number of probes to scan the debris field to discern the cause. Turns out that the culprit is a number of gravity generators of old alien make. Sputtering on dying energy sources and with their polarities inverted, they occasionally spew reverse gravity into the void, though not with enough force to cause any serious harm. Not anymore. Science Officer Mania Tibia theorizes that these generators once provided artificial gravity for a large asteroid in the belt, but some malfunction eventually tore the rock apart. Disturbing thought. Though we get some science out of it. Sweet. grotesque rocks. Continued exploration of that planet has yielded more questions than answers. The surface is littered with eerie, lifelike statues, their expressions petrified in silent agony. Our scientists, our scientists are divided. Some believe that these forms were once living beings, turned to stone by some unknown force. Others suggest they represent deities, worshipped by long-forgotten civilizations. A more curious few believe that the statues are not a tribute, but a warning. A grim message to whoever would dare disturb the planet. Hmm, yeah, I'm curious. Go ahead and keep researching. And we are going to get some more Silent Shout. We have discovered the fossilized remains of a gargantuan gastropod, matching no previously encountered life form trapped within a huge block of ice circling that asteroid. Its eyes glare fiercely ahead, tentacles reared, its muzzle twisted into a gruesome grimace, as if locked in a silent shout. The creature displays no apparent signs of sapience. Unfortunately, we currently lack technology to bring it back to life. Space this abomination, it belongs in a museum, or extract and store a DNA sample for future use. Yeah, we're just going to say it belongs in a museum. Because we're probably never going to be getting the DNA sample for anything to use a DNA sample for. And of course, one of our archaeological sites have been finished. The giant structure. Solving the puzzle box turned out to be quite the ordeal. Lining the patterns themselves was not enough. They also had to be solved in a particular order, with the calculations of each step altering those of all subsequent ones, in nearly endless permutations. There was much time-consuming backtracking, but in the end, it was unlocked. As the last pattern clicked into place, the puzzle box exploded into millions of tiny points of light. The lights danced madly in the air for a few moments before coalescing to create words of some unknown language. Oddly, all witnesses to this event seemed to instinctively understand the message without knowing the words. For a few seconds before flickering out forever, it read, "You read the trial. We shall respond accordingly." Peculiar. So what we got was some research on its own, but we also got the research option for ancient suspension field and some progress on that. Shame you can't hover over it and have it tell you what the heck it does for some of them. Okay. Ah. I see. Okay, so this thing is basically, it's one of the old ancient, it's an ancient shield. That's probably better than what we have right now. You can get text like that where you get old-timey, ancient, um, technologies, weapons, armor, all that other stuff. And in the beginning, it's going to be vastly better than whatever the heck you have on your ships currently. However, it's not going to stay that way. When you get into late game, the Fallen Empire tech is going to be what you're going to want, because that stuff's going to be the GOAT. At least in my opinion, anyways. I guess, honestly, I don't go much into the route of the ancient tech because they are kind of new. Firefight. Many civilians were hurt in a series of fierce firefights between our forces and the reformers. We have sent emergency responders to take care of the wounded. And it's still advancing. God dang it. Towed asteroid. For some reason, someone has towed an asteroid into a stable orbit around that planet. The massive engine sections and braking thrusters can still be found on the surface, although they have long since been rendered inoperable. Whoever did this also mined the asteroid for minerals, but these operations are seemingly abandoned shortly after they began. Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, it would probably be a considerable cost to move an entire gosh dang asteroid nearer to a planet. It would be a little bit easier to go and, well, you know.
Special product complete.
Extremophilia. Mania Tibia and her crew have made a shocking discovery upon a new planet. The molten planet is home to an exotic array of extremophilic microorganisms. These bacteria live deep inside the volcanic vents that scar the planet, thriving in the extremely high temperatures produced there. This unprecedented find is our first known example of organic life forms flourishing on molten planets. Moreover, the hot people on the planet are in fact responsible for the rare gases detected in its thin atmosphere, producing these valuable components as a byproduct of their metabolic processes. Fascinating.
Let's get it on.
Ah, looks like we got another archaeological done. Ah, it's the space pirates. Our exploration has revealed a glance of ancient history, displaying the zeal and courage of ancient explorers. Clearly, the captain used this space shanty to motivate and coordinate the crew. Perhaps they even sang along. Our archaeologists are suggesting this performance should be preserved in a museum installation. As for the ancient melody, we transcribed all the lyrics we could find and added them to our database. Our own sailors now have a habit of singing versions of their own space shanties, which should improve their morale and efficiency. We rose from the ocean, reached for the sky, we're building an empire that will never die. It's windy weather, boys, stormy weather, boys. When wind blows, then we're all together, boys. Blow ye winds, forward, hey, blow ye winds, blow. Out to the galaxies as she goes. It's time to untether this ancient vessel, casting off the hawser as we set sail on solar winds, steady as she goes. Memorize the lyrics and set the next course. And we got, yes, please, thank you. The artifacts we don't really care about, but the harmonious crew modifier, sublight speed plus 10%. Yes, please, thank you. Basically, sublight speed is how fast your ships move through the system. Hyperlane speed, sublight speed. And having 10% extra is awesome, since they still have to actually cross through the system for the most part. Especially when you're in a fight. Very, 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 very nice. Alrighty. So, since we got that... Ah, yes. That's why I paused. Shipyard. And We'll do a transit hub. More shipyards. And you'll be a interstellar recruitment office.
We have mastered a new technology.
Looks like we got the power going. Sweet. Up. And as much as I would even look through the rest, as soon as I see this, I want this. This is just going to help us be able to see further along beyond what we can already see. Oh, and I can't forget to go and upgrade my vessels.
We have claimed a new world for our people.
And we now have ourselves a Gaia world. As I said, Gaia worlds are amazing. Everybody loves Gaia worlds. The only people who don't love Gaia worlds are two world preference people and station preference people. Basically, two others that are specifically, well, like these pre-sapients, they are also unique preferences. These guys right here, this pre-FDL, this pre-sapient species, they can't live on anything but Gaia worlds. They just cannot live anywhere else but on Gaia worlds. So it's unfortunate for them, but not really as far as I'm concerned. Alright, let's see here. We are going to plop down you, 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 and then, oh, let's go with you. We'll do a you know what? Nah. We'll do a research enclave. And we'll build a whole bunch of generators. Oh, and one thing more we can't forget. A whiff of treason. Emperor Appy has discovered that one of our leaders is plotting against the government. Proper cause would be to execute the traitor, but evidence is scarce. Oh, you are kidding. Alright, we'll get more evidence. You'd better be... Okay, thank God it's just about to fire. Thank God. Thank you. Reformists captured. Thanks to the Council's hard work, the reformist leaders have been swiftly apprehended. They are now at the mercy of Emperor Appy, but they have supporters among the populace. It is advisable to negotiate negotiate an outcome that suits both parties, albeit on our terms. That is annoying. That was very much annoying. Let's do mind over matter. Preparing to negotiate. After months of conflict, the time has come to resolve our differences and talk about how we can end this ridiculous revolt. Emperor Appy has called for a ceasefire to negotiate with the reformists. All hostilities have ceased as everybody awaits the outcome of the negotiations. Alrighty, and we got a new tradition to be selecting, and... oh, how should we do this? Expansion really doesn't help us because we don't really have any more expanding to do. Harmony maybe? Yeah, Harmony would probably be a good one. Of course, we could also go for Mercantile, which would be very, very handy for getting more trade goods. Of course, we could also go with Enmity. Oh, hmm, there's a lot to do here. There's a lot of choices. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna go with. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Harmony.
Council agenda available.
I'm gonna go with Harmony for now.
Construction completed.
Oh, and all of our star bases that we set up popped at once. Okay. It is time for Emperor Appy to retake the helm of state. Blessed with the heritage of Luminary, Appy remains a magnetic figure. However, with the increasing power of the Reformists and a full-fledged civil war looming on the horizon, the Emperor has issued a call to negotiations. Appy reports that early negotiations have been tense. Representatives from all corners of the new Roman Empire made their demands before listening to our Emperor's official statement, which listed the concessions we might accept. We won't make any concessions. We'll give them what they want. Really? That's all? Well, hell, sure. We'll give them a little bit of. Yeah, shit. Huh. But, uh, yep. Well, yeah, sure. What the heck? I'm alright with that. The eve of the negotiations, it became clear that the parties were sick of warring and would rather strike a deal. We cannot know what long-term consequences that this will have, but for now we are united. We triumph. Democratic factions modifier removed.
Our ships have been upgraded.
Okay.
We have mastered a new technology.
Oh. Apparently we mastered new technology without me even seeing what it was. Whoops. Alright. I'm going to do afterburners. As I said, sublight speed is important, and those afterburners increase it even more. Very useful when you're actually taking over another person's territory, because in your own territories, you can build these things called relays, which will allow you to jump from system to system without actually crossing through it. But in an enemy territory, they might not have that. So you're going to want to be able to go and cross the place very quickly anyways. Ah. Tar block secured. After an extensive search on the seabed of Forgor 2, using a small fleet of mini-submarines, the crew of the Messenius finally managed to corner the elusive target of their search, a live Tarblek. The shimmering creature, which defends itself by emitting faint psionic signals that produce a sense of dread in most organics, was brought aboard the science ship in a special water tank simulating its natural environment. The crew members on the Marcellus have came into direct contact with the Tarblek will require intensive therapy. But the mission has been a success. Excellent. Gangs clash on Limerick 4. Let's get out of hand.
Construction completed.
Zolkor swarm secured. The Zolkor are swarming insect analogues, unusual both for their large size and the fact that they are lithivores, feeding off rocks and minerals in the ground. One of the shuttles belonging to Polaris sustained serious damage when it inadvertently passed through a large swarm, and several Zolkors began to feed on its hull. The construction of the special containment facilities required to hold these creatures has already begun at the Museum of Exobiology on Earth. Neato. And another event, the Grand Herald. The Service Expedition has made an interesting find. It was an audio-video recording from one of the major cities. A teeming mass of beings, seemingly the bulk of the inhabitants, is crowding a public square. They are chanting, the collective voices rising in a crescendo like a sound of a melodic, rolling thunderstorm. The mass chant was translated as, "The ascent is nigh, carry us, O great herald, into a new beginning. Lead us from lands of tears and dust. Grant us a new home amongst the stars. We follow thee as one, we follow thee." Keep digging. Alright. Interesting. Alrighty, I think we're going to leave it at that. We finally managed to get that annoying reformist dealt with. We've managed to successfully get the UPS into our Federation, and we are going stronger than ever. Ooh, their economy is even better than mine. Well done, dude. Well done. Can we actually change the law with their help? Yeah? Yeah, we could. We could even change it to 40 years. Yeah, I'm down with that. Subjects can join. You know what? I'd be down with that too. And that is all that we'd be able to go and make changes with. Alrighty, so these guys, Vassal, well, they don't have a name. Huh. Not good. But that's what kind of happens every now and again with a rare Vassal. I'm just going to call him UPS Vassal. Okay, so that is where we're going to leave it. Our Federation is now slightly better, as far as I'm concerned anyways, slightly better. We are done with that annoying nonsense. We still have a bit of a crisis with our energy crystals, but we can work on that later. And we have a few star bases and a few fleets to fix up. But that will be for next episode. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you later. Sayonara.